2018 came and went, and while I don't think it was as packed of a year as 2017 was, it was still a really good year, all things considered, for games. I personally didn't get to play too many games this past year for various reasons, namely me still trying to catch up on 2017 gems, but yeah, I'm rambling now. So while I didn't play a huge majority of what 2018 had to offer, I still played quite a bit, and I have a list of 10 games I greatly enjoyed throughout the year. As always, the list will be in no particular order, just alphabetical, I guess. But yeah, before we get into the list proper, the prelim stuff. The best game I played in 2018 that didn't come out in 2018 was Environmental Station Alpha, a tough-as-nails Metroidvania. Went into it blind for a Halloween stream event thing. Didn't really know what to expect, but I got addicted to it. And that greatly ate up my time in October and November, just trying to play through the game. Now, the game is super tough. It does not hold your hand, but I kind of like games like that, to some extent. Even though I was dying a lot, I still felt like I was improving over time. Like if I was stuck on a really hard boss, each attempt, I was doing better and better until I finally overcame them, and I had that sense of accomplishment, and it was great! Yeah! Though some segments are just flat out unfair. I don't really like a huge gauntlet that I have to survive before I get to the boss. Like, the gauntlet is in between the save point and the boss. And if you clear out the gauntlet, then go back and save, the gauntlet has all the enemies and hazards respawn, and it's ugh. But aside from the occasional moment like that, it's still a fair game despite being super tough. Though I think also some of that difficulty might have been from me inadvertently sequence breaking. It is pretty easy to get lost in that game. Then again, I was also very stupid, and later on I would discover like, oh wait, I should have gone into this room I skipped over, and it would have given me the task to find this area that would give me this particular item that I happened to find by randomly exploring. Yeah, come to think of it, that was probably all on me. But nonetheless, Environmental Station Alpha, good game, highly recommended if you never played it. And apparently ESA 2 is in development, so I'm looking forward to that too. Up next, the most disappointing game of the year. It pains me to say this because, all things considered, it is a good game, but Mega Man 11. Now, some of this could be attributed to just letting my imagination run wild and getting caught up on the hype train with the game. Because it's like, oh, first classic Mega Man game in years, and it looks great, and blah blah blah, and Mighty Number 9 sucked, but now we have this, and Capcom actually cares, this is gonna be great! And then the game was merely good. Don't get me wrong, I actually do recommend the game. I feel it's worth playing, and it's only $30. But when you have less content in the game than most classic Mega Man games before it, it just leaves a little something to be desired. I mean, to put this in perspective, Mega Man 3 had the Doc Robot stages that added 4 extra stages to the game. Mega Man 4 through 6 all had second castles, whether it be Dr. Cossack, Proto Man, or Mr. X. Meanwhile, Mega Man 11, you just go through the 8 regular stages, and then you have your 4 Wily stages, where 2 of them are just boss rooms. And I feel kind of bad for even having this as the most disappointing game, because the music is excellent, the level design is really good, save for a couple moments where it's like, okay, that's just flat out unfair. Which is pretty much the entirety of Acid Man's stage. There was also a lot of new gimmicks added that were pretty fun to deal with. And the voice acting didn't suck. But at the end of the day, it just felt like a game that could have had a little more added to it. And just like Mega Man 9 and 10 and the Legacy collections and the X collections, there are challenges you can do, but even then the challenges just feel uninspired and boring. I mean, compared to the Legacy collections where you have the remixes that allow you to play different segments of different stages all combined into one big stage. Or challenges where you're restricted to a specific weapon to beat said stage. I mean, the X collection was doing some crazy stuff with the different bosses, where you can fight 2 at once. Oh, and I was leading into this, but I didn't even say it. Like, the challenges in Mega Man 11, 90% of them are just you playing through the same exact stages. Dr. Light's trials and the balloon challenges are pretty good, but aside from that, it's just... there's not really too much replay value here. But nonetheless, it's still a really solid Mega Man game, and I do recommend it at the end of the day, but... if you were expecting something grand, you might be a little disappointed there. With that said, onward to the list proper. First up, we have Blade Strangers, a 2D anime fighter starring different indie game characters. It's a pretty casual fighter in the grand scheme of things, but you can still find some fun with it. The story is utterly ridiculous, but when you have a cast of characters that includes Quote and Curly Brace and Isaac and Shovel Knight, that's kind of to be expected. Didn't have any trouble with matchmaking when I played online, though now it might be a little bit tougher due to no crossplay and the game not even really getting that big. But if you've got some friends or family over, it's easy enough to just pick up and play, and fun times can be had by all. I also might be semi-biased because I just like Umihara Kawase's supers. Just making sushi out of your opponents is amazing on so many levels. I love it so much. Up next, we have Dragon Ball FighterZ. Hey, second fighting game. Dragon Ball FighterZ is obviously an anime fighter with Dragon Ball Z characters. And honestly, the best Dragon Ball fighting game to ever come out, in my opinion. I enjoyed the original story mode for what it was. I mean, it actually taught you how to play the game, instead of just throwing you into a series of fights and expecting you to just, like, get good, scrub. There's a nice amount of variety in the cast of characters, though there may just be a tad too many Gokus. Just saying. Get it? Because he's a Saiyan? That was awful. And the game is simplified enough where it's easy for casual players to just pick up and play, while still having a deep meta game that pro players can dive into. I really don't have much else to say about it. I mean, ever since it came out near the beginning of this year, I found myself going back to it every now and then, just having fun. The DLC characters breathe new life into the game every couple of months. And it's just an all-around fun fighter that's definitely worth picking up if you're a Dragon Ball fan. Here's hoping Shueisha doesn't ruin the competitive future of the game, though, because it's kind of messed up. I mean, on the bright side, at least they haven't been taking down YouTube videos yet. Up next, we have God of War. Not gonna lie, when I first put this in, I was very disappointed. I mean, I knew going in it was going to be a different game compared to the God of Wars of old, but I was still expecting like a certain level of action. And then you get to the first boss and it's just, I wasn't feeling it at all. By that point, I kind of had a grasp of how the game was going to play, and it's essentially a more fair version of Dark Souls. And I know making Dark Souls comparisons is just like played out at this point, but that's kind of what it is. You do a couple hits, then either bring up your shield, and yeah, Kratos has a shield now, but bring up your shield to block an attack, or dodge roll out the way, rinse and repeat, chip away at the boss's HP until they're dead. It was just too slow paced for me, and I stopped playing the game for a long while. Ended up picking it back up late summer, played on just a little bit longer because I didn't really play much after that first boss. And then I got to the next boss, and I was immediately pulled back into the game. It's kind of amazing the difference one fight can make. Because that fight, while still sort of feeling like Dark Souls light, it brought things somewhat back to the God of War action that I was used to. Like, shit got real in that fight. And I really felt like I was controlling the Kratos of old. So yeah, once you get over that initial realization of, oh, yeah, this is just not the same God of War, you have a really good game at your hands. And it still follows the same God of War fare, where you just navigate through an area, solve a puzzles or two, and then deal with some trash mob enemies, with the occasional boss slash mini boss just thrown in for variety's sake. It also has the deepest story that a God of War game has had to date, with Kratos showing actual character development and not just being an insane, crazed, murderous fiend. It's a nice change of pace. And you see him grow to be a really good father. I mean, even though he was already, like, doing really well for himself. So yeah, great game. Don't let the first 30 minutes or so dissuade you from getting into it if you're a longtime God of War fan. The game does pick up beyond that. And if Kratos' axe isn't to your liking, minor spoilers, but some old weapons that you're more accustomed to, they do make an appearance. Just saying. Up next, we have Hikaniwa Explorer Plus. This is not going to be a game for everybody. It is also very hard to try and explain what it is, because I haven't really ever played a game like it before. I guess the best way of describing it is an isometric, fast-paced Legend of Zelda adventure. You explore dungeons, open chests, kill enemies, fight bosses, etc., etc. It's just nice, mindless fun, and surprisingly deep for a game that was made by one person. Though I say that like amazing one-person games don't exist, like Axiom Verge. My god, that game was great. But yeah, back to Hikaniwa. It's just a fast-paced, action-packed game. It's also on the raunchy side. Like, you're not going to get full-on nudity or try-hard edgelord humor. But at the same time, this isn't really a game for kids either. Like, well, definitely not. Like, there is swearing, there is copious amounts of fan service, though it's tamer than the likes of Senran Kagura. You know, a large portion of the enemies are busty monster girls. But it's all tongue-in-cheek and the game doesn't take itself seriously at all. It's just a fun time. And the humor is just great. Especially taking into consideration the guy that made this game isn't a native English speaker. So the fact that the jokes are able to translate so well, it's just nothing short of amazing. Just a wide variety of weapons and magic spells at your disposal to defeat your enemies. Such enemies ranging from literal rock enemies called rockets to a big-ass octopus named the Big-Ass Octopus. And there is a wide variety of equipment at your disposal. Not to mention, you can enhance your weapons by allowing them to give you different stat boosts, or they might have a new effect added to them. And there is weapon and armor durability, but it's not as bad as some games like Breath of the Wild, because there are also items in the game that you can use to restore your weapons to max durability. And these items aren't in short supply either, so you'd never really have to worry about rationing them out. So yeah, Hikaniwa Explorer Plus. Just an all-around fun and funny isometric adventure game. Anyway, moving on to Iconoclasts, which is a 2D platformer with Metroidvania elements. Would sort of put you in the mind of the Wario Land series. Only instead of levels that are just like entirely sectioned off, everything is interconnected. The action is nice and fast. While it does have Metroidvania elements, you're never at risk of getting lost, since it has a pretty good map system, all things considered. And the story will keep you engaged. The story is surprisingly deep, too. Like, I was not expecting this. But just to give you the short synopsis without spoiling too much, you control this mechanic girl named Robin, who lives in a world where this religious entity has sort of taken over, and save for people they deem worthy to do so, working with technology or building things or even cartography is considered a sin and is punishable by execution. All in all, it's just a chill platformer, Metroidvania hybrid thing. There are puzzles, but the puzzles are never anything too difficult to deal with. I never really got stuck on anything. The level design itself is pretty standard fare, but the game really shines on the boss fights. There are tons of unique boss fights in this game, and I never encountered one that I would honestly deem bad. So yeah, Iconoclasts, definitely worth checking out. I mean, it's out on freaking everything right now, so I mean, you know, it's not a hard game to find. I mean, it's even out for the Vita. The Vita. Come on now. And it's one of 8 games that can be played on a Linux machine. That's just astounding to me. Up next, we have Kirby Star Allies. It's Kirby in a new adventure, and he never has bad games, so yeah. Of course that was going to be on the list. Kirby Star Allies is the same old 2D Kirby, but it draws on elements from Kirby Superstar and Kirby 64, in that there's now an increased focus on friends or allies that can join you and help you out on the levels, which was a big deal in Kirby Superstar. And you can combine powers together to make an even bigger power or give a certain type of power a buff, like you could in Kirby 64. Best of both worlds, I love it. While it doesn't feel as long as other Kirby games, there is a surprising amount of replay value here. Especially with Dream Friends mode, where you're able to play through the game with any of the possible allies in the game. So hey, if you ever wanted to play through a Kirby game as bonkers, now's your chance. There's also very special star allies that you can be that are pretty major characters from Kirby's past, including but not limited to DDD, Meta Knight, Bandana D, Suzy from Planet Robobot, Magalore from Return to Dreamland, DeRoach from Squeak Squad, and my son, Marks, from Superstar. And when you play through the Dream Friends mode with any one of these special friends, the levels will actually change up a bit to reference whatever game they came from. And yeah, you can lose track of time just playing through that mode over and over again to see just what it has to offer for different friends. This game also received a few free updates throughout the year. Said updates was adding more and more like new Dream Friends, but the most recent one also added a brand new mode, which is hard as hell. So yeah, all you people saying Kirby games are too easy, play that mode. It is oh boy, it was a thing. It was a thing. And beating that mode unlocks even more friends related to the game itself. Aside from all of that, the music is as excellent as ever. The story, while still just sort of semi-minimalistic, the story actually goes a little deep. Now, I'd say Robobot story probably beats this one out, but this one, though, like, it really helps add to the, like, developing Kirby canon. Like, I don't want to spoil the final boss, because Persafia Gaming and Nintendo already did it in their thumbnails, but the implications of that boss to the Kirby series as a whole, and how the main antagonists of the game were trying to summon said final boss, let's just say I got insanely hype, and just the overall implications that can have on the Kirby saga is just, oh man, I cannot wait for the next Kirby game to see where they go from here. It's going to be grand. Up next, we have Pit People. Yeah, this game had an early access period in 2017, but its official release was last year, 2018. It's a tactical RPG by the folks at Behemoth, and just like how when it comes to Kirby games, like Behemoth, I don't think they're capable of making a bad game at this point. Like, it's Castle Crashers, Battle Block Theater, they're just all good. Yeah, Pit People is an interesting take on the tactical RPG genre. There's a ton of different recruitable units for the game, each with their own strengths and weaknesses. There is 2-player co-op, which is always good. I mean, it's not a Behemoth game without co-op. And there's even a permadeath mode if you're a masochist. I say as someone who plays Fire Emblem with permadeath on, and will still reset the map if a character dies. I play SRPGs really weird, okay? And the humor is as excellent as always. So if you're in the market for a tactical RPG with tons to do, like I forgot to even mention that there are just a lot of side quests you can do, as well as the occasional random army that'll show up on the world map that you can fight. But yeah, if you're in the market for that, lots of humor, and even a co-op mode you can go through with friends, Pit People is the game for you. Up next, Runner 3. Most recent entry into the Bit Trip series, and the third game in the Runner sub-series. So yeah, Runner 3 is just another endless runner. Well, not really endless since there are actual stages, so finite runner, I guess. It's just like the previous Runner games, only much, much better. It looks great. The levels contain so many branching paths and collectibles, you'll find yourself playing through them just multiple times just to see everything they have to offer. There's new mechanics like riding various vehicles, whether it be a plane or mine carts. And you can even double jump, which is kind of rough. Like, it's not unintuitive or anything, it's just when you're so used to only having one jump in these games and then you have a double jump at your disposal, you start second guessing yourself when it comes to different obstacles that you were dealing with normally before. It's just, it takes a minute for your mind to get accustomed to that. A shorter game than Runner 2 for the most part, but the branching paths and secrets and just like whole experience as a whole, boy, that's redundant, but yeah, all that makes up for just, you know, taking a step back in the number of levels. I don't mind there being less levels as long as the level quality is better, and boy is it better. Also, Shovel Knight appears in this game because he just has a quota to meet. Not throwing shade at Shovel Knight, I always love seeing him show up, but yeah. Runner 3. Great if you enjoyed the other Runner games. Hell, it's great if you never played those games and you just want like something fun to play. You know, just pick up and play, do a few levels every now and then while you're waiting on the bus or something. Just great fun game. Buy it. Up next we have Spider-Man. Honestly, I would probably tie this with Kirby as like game of the year material for me. And yeah, this game got cheated at the Game Awards, but yeah, Spider-Man open world superhero game by the folks at Insomniac. They did good. It's definitely the best Spider-Man game ever. And honestly, a case could be made that it's the best superhero game ever. I'm a big Batman Arkham fan, but after playing Spider-Man, it kind of overshadows the Arkham games. The combat is somewhat similar to the Arkham games, but it's a little more fast-paced and you have more that you can actually do, including using the environment to help you out a bit. You know, just web a statue or a bench at your enemies and all that good stuff. There's also stealth in this game, though it's not as heavy on stealth as Batman is. Just like with Ultimate Spider-Man, there's tons of different things you can do around the town to help out people in their time of need. The story and the writing is absolutely fantastic. And there's just tons of great small touches that add to the overall experience. You got J. Jonah Jameson with a radio show, just talking about the evil menace that is Spider-Man. 2 sets of dialogue was recorded for Spider-Man. 1 set for when he's just doing his normal thing. Another set for when he's swinging around or exerting energy. There's tons of different costumes that are callbacks to the comics. Tons of cameos from Miles Morales to Stan Lee. Like, just this brief segment in this countdown video is not enough to do this game justice. I truly feel this is one of the best games of the year. I enjoyed it more than God of War, and that's not saying God of War was awful, but this was just a great game. So yeah, this is definitely a game worth buying if you have a PS4. And finally, on the list, probably surprising no one, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which I would tie with Kirby Star Allies and Spider-Man as Game of the Year, despite only coming out in December. There's nothing to really say about this game. It is the ultimate Super Smash Bros. Experience. The mechanics have been overhauled to make it feel like a brand new game. The amount of music in this game alone is worth the $60 price point. There's so many stages to choose from. It's just mind-blowing. Oh, and obviously every character from the series is back and, playable. World of Light is actually fun. It wasn't the adventure mode I wanted. Like, I wanted it to sort of go back to Melee standards, or, just give us another subspace. But it was still fun, all things considered. I enjoyed it, especially the final sequence. Something happens before you go into, like, the little final boss gauntlet, and it was absolutely amazing. I mean, the game's still really new. I don't want to spoil it, but let's just say, after that one segment, anything is possible. The devs can make anything into a playable character. Literally anything. I mean, we're kind of already seeing that with Piranha Plant being a fighter, but yeah, anything is possible in Smash. Then the overhauled Classic mode is great, because Classic mode kind of sucked in Smash 4. Both the Wii U and 3DS versions, it just did. So the 3DS Classic mode was actually better than the Wii U one, which is sad. But yeah, Classic mode and Ultimate is great because every character has their own unique Classic mode. Minor spoilers for this, but like, say you chose Ryu and went through his Classic mode. Every single fight is in Stamina mode on a Final Destination version of each stage, and it mirrors his arcade mode from Street Fighter 2. So, for example, like, instead of fighting Chun-Li, you're fighting Zero Suit Samus, green Donkey Kong as Blanca, Little Mac wearing blue as Balrog, etc., etc. If you go through Classic mode with Marth, you're fighting nothing but dinosaurs and dragons. And if you go through Kirby's, every match is sort of set up like Gourmet Race from Kirby Superstar, where you're fighting nothing but hungry characters, like Wario, DDD, and there's just food everywhere on the ground, like at the start of the match. Not to mention there's a ton of just unique bosses too. Well, I say a ton. It's not that many, but you don't have to worry about every Classic mode ending with Master Hand and or Crazy Hand. Might as well go off with the ones they showed off in trailers, but yeah, Gallium from Brawl is back, and he's the Classic mode boss for some characters, and he's in World of Light. Rathalos is the final boss for Marth, among others. Mario fights Bowser, who then turns into Giga Bowser. Link fights Ganon. It's just so good. Like, it's truly the best Smash game ever, and one of the best Switch games out right now. I'm hyped for Piranha Plant. I aim to be the best Piranha Plant in the Midwest. Joker is going to be hype, and if that's the first character that Nintendo chose to be in the game, holy crap, what are the other four going to be? So yeah, Smash Ultimate. It's great, yo. And also, Squad Strike is the best mode ever. Screw regular tournaments. I just want all tournaments now to be Squad Strike. It reminds me of Capcom vs. SNK 2, and anything that reminds me of Capcom vs. SNK 2 is alright by me. So yeah, that is it for my list. Once again, those 10 top games of 2018 for me are Kirby Star Allies, Spider-Man, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Dragon Ball FighterZ, Pit People, Runner 3, God of War, Hakaniwa Explorer Plus, Blade Strangers, and Iconoclasts. Honorable mentions. Copy Kitty. Yeah, Copy Kitty is an honorable mention because while it did have its official release in 2018, just like, Pit People with, a early access thing that came before 2018, the game itself was purchasable for almost an entire decade. It was just the dev finally was able to get money to really finish it and make it the, just complete experience that they dreamed of for so many years. But yeah, I couldn't in good conscience put it on the list because, I kind of been playing it for years before 2018, so yeah. Ikaruga, because it's an old game. It came out, for like the GameCube. It just had like a re-release for everything this last year, so yeah, that's how I was able to play it, because I am not made of money, so I couldn't really spend $100+ on the GameCube version of the game. Attack on Titan 2, Aegis Defenders, and Soul Calibur 6. And then, like, something new for this one. Games from 2018 that are on my backlog of games to play because I didn't get a chance to play them during the year. Including, but probably not limited to, Ni no Kuni 2, Dragon Quest XI, Octopath Traveler, Taiko Drum Master, the Torna expansion to Xenoblade Chronicles 2, The World Ends With You Final Mix, Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, the better version of the two, Shots Fired, Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom, and Shaq Fu. So yeah, that's it for my video. 2018 was good, and 2019 looks like it's just not going to stop with the goodness. Because holy crap, this January is freaking packed. I just got Mario & Luigi Bowser's Inside Story remake with Bowser Jr. Adventure, whatever that sub thing is called, and Mario U Deluxe, because I skipped that on the Wii U, so this is actually my first time ever playing it. Not to mention we got Resident Evil 2 remastered coming out, and Kingdom Hearts 3, and No More Heroes. My god, what is this January? Holy shit. But yeah, that's it from me for now. What were your favorite games of 2018? Let me know down below, and I will see you all later. Goodbye.